By definition, PWC endurance racing is meant to be difficult. It is meant to be a test of racer and machine to see who can not only endure, but excel in extreme circumstances. That challenge is multiplied almost exponentially when the test is held offshore in the unorganized, crossed-up chop of the Pacific Ocean. For this reason, the Jet Tribe Long Beach to Catalina and back race has become the most prestigious offshore race held in North America.
This is the 8th running under RPM, I think the 20th running overall of the Long Beach to Catalina and back IJSPA Offshore Endurance National Championships. The race is 52 miles round trip. It's the oldest endurance race in the United States for PWC racing. We've got a lot of great riders from all over the United States, Canada and Australia this year. We've got a lot of husband and wife teams. We've got 6 women that are competing. We've got a wounded warrior competing, and Craig Warner, who's going for his 5th unprecedented win, which will break Billy Womack's record that he's currently tied with for 4 wins overall for the Long Beach to Cat race.
I love it. I mean, this is what makes racing fun, is you win some and then you get guys to step it up. And the cool thing about it is that if they step it up and beat us today, that means next year we come back with something better. So I get excited about that, because the faster and faster we go every year is just more fun to me. So I like it.
Craig's ride is a turbo-powered Kawasaki Ultra 310R, tuned by racing legend Minoru Kanamori. Mark Gerner has also made the leap to turbo, but his ride is still under development. Kanamori was glad to be of help.
Minoru Kanamori.
Yeah, so there's a collaboration with R&D Racing and Aaron Kress and my entire team, Pee-wee and everybody, and we actually put the R&D Turbo. It's the first application for endurance and offshore. We're almost there. I think we're about 90% there, so I'm going to go out and take a little bit of risk today, it looks like. The R&D Turbo package is a magnificent thing, so we got a brand new rebuild on the engine. What we found, at least at this point in time, is that the Kawasaki Ultra hull is the best hull for Long Beach to Catalina and back. If it's 2.5 feet, which very infrequently is it less than 2.5 feet, you pretty much want to be on this boat. The Yamaha's actually presented the SVHO recently, which is I think challenging in some ways the Kawasaki Ultra platform. I understand Klippenstein's going to be here on a the turbo package on the Yamaha's a little bit more mature, at least right this second. So he's got a rocket ship. I've competed against that boat in a lake, and my gosh, it's a very, very fast boat. So it's flat out there. That Yamaha SVHO could be a competitive threat, no question in my mind. So Klippenstein will definitely be a competitor today, no question.
We went out yesterday. We went about 3 miles from the island. It was pretty rough. One thing I found or I learned yesterday was these boats are just so fast. The ocean is so unpredictable. Anything over 70 miles an hour is actually sort of scary. But the Yamaha is a really, really good boat, so I think we'll be okay today. The water's nice and calm, no wind, visibility's not too bad, and the weather's sort of like Canadian weather. So yeah, I feel like I'm racing in my backyard.
After a 20-minute delay, the race was underway out of Queensgate, vectored directly to Avalon. As expected, Mike Klippenstein capitalized on the smooth waters inside the breakwall to rocket to the front of the pack, even for a brief moment poking his bow past Warner and Kanamori into the lead. Right behind them were the Yamahas of Tara Lejo and Charles Anderson, with Casey Heiler on the charge into 4th place. The change in conditions from inside the breakwall to outside were significant, as you can see here. Casey Heiler had an Imperial Stormtrooper look, but he certainly had the speed to back it up. Flanking him like a wingman was Michael Perry on his Kawasaki Ultra 310R. At 4 miles out, Warner, Kanamori, and Klippenstein seemed content to settle into a lead pack, much like marathon runners would do. The shocker was when Mark Gerner returned to the start-finish area only a very short time after the start. It was obvious that his ski still wasn't right. Better to save an expensive engine for another day. Kudos for a wise but difficult call. Minoru had led this race before in the mid-90s, but he fell and got lost in fog. That was back in the days before GPS. He also broke while leading just a couple of years ago. Despite his 2 DNFs, the former IJSBA world champion knows what it takes to win.
You have to be, smart for the navigate, that kind of stuff, and then just don't make, silly mistaking like I've been doing it, twice already, because I never finish those races. So maybe, hopefully, today I can finish. I announced the retirement long time ago, but I don't know. Always kind of nice to coming back once in a while and having fun, see some people here and just good time.
The conditions were about as smooth as it gets out in the San Pedro Channel. Light 1 to 3 foot cross chop, very light winds, and solid cloud cover for the time being. Solid cloud cover over a smooth ocean can present its own set of challenges.
Yeah, I mean, there's like so many different variations. You have fog for one, you have like a cloud cover with smooth water, and that's probably like the hardest water to ride in because you can't see, it's like a mirror effect. So you can't tell if the water's moving up or down. It's almost like if you've ever been snowmobiling and you get the white out where it's like snowing or fog bank and you see the white from the snow and the white from the cloud, you can't see anything, so you don't know where you're going or you're going up and down. So it's kind of the same factor here. And then, when it's really rough, it's just, you can see everything and you bounce off waves. And so you got three, different styles of racing here. So you never know what you're gonna get until you actually hit the water.
When you're leading a race, navigation becomes that much more critical. Warner's land sightings and GPS put him about a third of a mile north of the location of the turnaround boat. Warner and Kanamori made the correction, and we're good to go for the return back to Long Beach. Michael Perry rounded the boat in third, 22 seconds back from Warner. Mike Klippenstein rounded the boat in 7th place, having slipped off the pace slightly. Mike's frustration was apparent. His ski would later be diagnosed with a broken camshaft. Jeff Lane was flying the colors of the USA proudly on his Kawasaki Ultra 300 LX. Jeff had been solidly in 5th place for most of the race. Terralejo is a former women's pro ski world champion and had been warmly welcomed to the world of endurance racing. Her top 10 finish in this race last year was also encouraging. Unfortunately for Tara, the day hadn't gone as planned.
Yes, endurance racing is very new to me actually. Last year in 2013, it was the first time I raced this race, and it was on in the manufacturer's stock class, and I got 7th overall out of everyone. And this year my goal is just to maybe better that, and of course just to finish and to come home to my son.
Tara was experiencing boat problems and wisely chose to turn around and return home prior to reaching the turnaround boat, resulting in a DNF for this year. Michael Perry paced in 4th place. Michael was racing in the manufacturer's stock class. Michael had been towed to the starting line by his father Glenn Perry to save fuel, a shrewd strategy that contributed to great results. Casey Heidler was basically stalking Kanamori for the entire race. Casey was racing in the Pro-Am Open class, where extra fuel capacity can be added, so fuel wasn't as much of a concern. Kanamori was able to keep within 2/3 of a mile of Warner, a remarkable feat for a stock class ski. Warner entering the breakwater. His ski had been averaging mid to upper 60s for the duration of the race and was still running strong for a final smooth water blast to the finish. Just behind him, a drag race for 2nd. Kanamori was low on fuel and was sputtering into the finish. Casey Heidler was showing no mercy. Michael Perry stretched across in 4th place, and Jeff Lane finished in a very respectable 5th place in what would be an all-Kawasaki top 10 finish. With this 5th Long Beach to Cat win for Craig Warner, the record previously set by Billy Womack was now his.
Feels good. I never thought, that I would ever, match his title or his wins or anything, because it's really hard to do, to win that many races. And, we just kept plugging around, every year and just try. And, we lost a few of them and we won the rest of them. So it's good. It feels really good. I hope Billy's not mad at me or anything, but got to give him credit because he was the one that kind of started this thing. And, all records have to be beaten at some point. So I'm glad I was the one that did it.
All hail to the king of the Long Beach Decat, Craig Warner.